Creative Pro Wrestling fans, I am longtime independent wrestling fan Robert. Northern Invasion was a great way for Creative Pro Wrestling to kick off a whole new decade here in 2020 from the Knights of Columbus in Lynbrook, New York. The night begins with a handicap match as Bryce Donovan was defending the tag team of the Shook Crew was defending the tag team championship against the faculties Even Stevens, Steve Somerset, and Steven Azure. Unfortunately, Bobby Orlando was not medically cleared, so he could not wrestle, and Max Caster, he's still out of action. So neither one of them could team up with Bryce, so I guess it was decided for Bryce to defend the belts by himself. The match was on, and Bryce really held his own for quite a while in the matchup. At one point, the Stevens got their hands on the tag team championship belts. The referee caught one of them using it, and I don't know if it was the same one he caught, but the other tag belt was brought into play and hit Bryce right in the face, and surprisingly, Bryce kicked out at one, where the crowd erupted for that one. I forgot, they hit the Steven Flow finisher, unless I'm mistaken, they hit it a second time, and the Even Stevens defeated Bryce Donovan to become the new Creative Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champions. Next up, we saw the debuting Kobe Durst face the dime piece Aaron Rourke, botchamania on my part. And the match was on, very good. Rourke can really go in the ring, and Kobe Durst looked like he ripped off Mickey Rourke, no relation to Aaron, Randy the Ram Robinson Ram Jam attire from the movie The Wrestler. Kobe Durst was very impressive in his debut. However, the dime piece Aaron Rourke defeated Kobe Durst in a very good singles matchup. Up next, to my surprise, we saw the dog collar match between CPA and Evil Kip. Pretty brutal matchup, and which eventually saw Evil Kip defeat CPA in the dog collar match. I really thought this match would have gone on some point after intermission, but very surprised it did. It went on as early as it did. Next up was a three-way tag team match as we saw Spite, Mike Anthony, and Liam Davis, the athletic department, Coach Mamone and Slade, and Bear Country, Bear Bronson and Bear Beefcake. Very good matchup, and the athletic department defeated Spite and Bear Country to win this great three-way tag team matchup. Next up, we see Erik James. He comes to the ring singing the Backstreet Boys song Everybody as he defended his television championship against AEW superstar Freshly Squeezed Orange Cassidy. And I forgot how, but Erik James defeated Orange Cassidy to retain the television championship. It was at that point they did go to intermission and people were able to meet Orange Cassidy, and I guess they went to meet Ethan Page and others throughout intermission. Okay, we resume with the second half of the show gets underway with an 8-man tag team match. As on one side, we see Jack Tomlinson, the Vessler, Mr. Tibbs, Cliff Marshall, and Pat Fitzpatrick do battle with Carlo Weiss, Jason Sinclair, Mark Wheeler, and Jesse Hurst. A very good matchup which saw Carlo Weiss, Jason Sinclair, Mark Wheeler, and Jesse Hurst defeat Jack Tomlinson, Mr. Tibbs, Pat Fitzpatrick, and Cliff Marshall when Weiss pinned Tomlinson. I think it was due to a low blow. Could be wrong on that. Next up was a 4-way matchup as we saw the faculty Smart Mark Sterling versus Philip Cardigan versus Pretty Boy Johnny Collins with the Answer to Your Prayers Ariella Nix in his corner, and the Space Monkey who made his debut. Very good matchup here. A lot of most of the match Collins kept being knocked down to the floor. There was a great spot where Cardigan, who brought his coffee canister with him, took some coffee, and also Cardigan had like a banana in his pocket that Space Monkey figured out. And I forgot, was it Sterling or Collins took the banana and threw it right at the Creator Pro curtain, and Monkey actually got out of the ring and he went through the curtain and went to get it. Collins eventually got in the ring, and he was like by himself, and Ariella Nix comes in the ring, and she's applauding him, and I think he accidentally elbowed her and gave her some type of a kick by accident, so some trouble in their paradise, it seems. And eventually, as I said, Cardigan with his coffee, Space Monkey with the banana, they circled, not run circles, but they surrounded, the two of them were surrounding Mark Sterling, and they both gave him the Hulk Hogan "you" finger. And Space Monkey wound up defeating Smart Mark Sterling, Philip Cardigan, and Pretty Boy Johnny Collins. And then the main event of the evening, we saw All Ego, Ethan Page of the Impact one half of the Impact Wrestling Tag Team Championship, as he he challenged VSK for the Creator Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. There was this little girl in the crowd who kept chatting VSK, and like Ethan Page held the ropes open, daring her to come in the ring, and she actually just ran into her father's arms, unless that was another one of her family members she went to. And eventually it was a really great matchup with these two guys. We know VSK can really go, and Ethan Page, I forgot what independent promotion I saw before he made it to Impact Wrestling. Forgot what move we used, but VSK defeated All Ego Ethan Page to retain the Heavyweight Championship. After the match, VSK invited that little girl to come in the ring and to get on top of him, and I forgot if the referee did or VSK made a 3 count for the little girl, and she got to hold not only the Creator Pro Championship as well as the Impact Wrestling tag belt that Ethan brought to the ring, and her dad took pictures. I don't know if that was her dad or not, or a possible family member. And she also got to stay on the second turnbuckle and raise her arms in a token of victory. Good moment. Great way to end another awesome night of action at Creator Pro Wrestling. But it's on to the personal notes now. It was good seeing fellow NYWCites Sam, Jessica, Leanne, Tommy's friend Mike, who witnessed Creator Pro for the first time, and Mike, I think he did say he wants to be back and come back in the future, and hopefully he will. Mike McNicholas, Joe Carson, Steven Scogan. Who else Who else I remember seeing in this crowd that I know of? Oh, Jason Lennox, who used to ring announce NYWC. He was in attendance for this one. Louis Tamiso, who used to referee at NYWC. Ryan Peterson, how can I forget about you? Couldn't believe Ryan, you saw me and Sam having that little debacle about the fact that just because Sam having proverbial cream fests over you and putting down NYWC ring announcer Andy Miller. Yeah. I think I forgot to mention, looks like there's some trouble in the camp of Spite, because at one point Liam Davis tells Mike Anthony, I'm not tagging you in again or tagging out again or something, and I forgot if Mike Anthony was the one that got pinned or not, but we're interested to see where a fellow Spite member, Johnny Clash, who was not there, where he stands in all of this. All right. Let me see. What other stuff anything else to cover here? Well, we've got some memorable quotes. I've got her! Steven Azure, when he had Bryce Donovan in a waistlock, he said, I've got her. And we're thinking, wait a minute, you're holding a guy. Kool-Aid Man, Kool-Aid Man. The crowd at Aaron Rourke's for sporting red hair. Robert Lanny is evil. Eric Martinez during the three-way tag team match. Up yours, Eric. Me in response through my megaphone. Go back to preschool. Sam through my megaphone at Pretty Boy Johnny Collins. AARP, the crowd at Smart Mark Sterling. Life alert, life alert, the crowd at Sterling. Freshly peeled, the crowd referring to Space Monkey's banana. I'm not going to let you do shit, little girl. Ethan Page to that little girl who got to come in the ring after the match with VSK was over. Oh, all right. Woo. Well, Creative Pro Wrestling returns to action on Sunday, March 15th, as they will be returning home to their headquarters at the Creative Pro Wrestling Academy in Hicksville, New York. I would like to see for that very show, the newly crowned tag team champions, the Even Stevens, defend their belts against, if any two members of the Shook Crew, if Bobby Orlando or Max Caster is ready to return to the ring by that point. I'd like to see VSK defend the heavyweight championship against Evil Kip. I'd like to see the Jack Tomlinson one-on-one with Carlo Weiss. Another memorable quote. That's animal cruelty. Sam to Sterling when he was stepping on Space Monkey's tail. La 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 la. Yeah, it was a very good show. Like I said, they'll be returning. They'll be in Hicksville on Sunday, March 15th. I don't understand, Creative Pro. Whenever you do Sunday shows, I don't know why you start at 5 p.m. Why can't you start 2 p.m. or 3 p.m., knowing that so many people have to work the next day and children have school the next morning? I mean, I don't know if you thought about that or not. And also, it was announced that Creative Pro Wrestling will return to the Knights of Columbus and Lynbrook in either April or May. Hopefully they will, because should be something there. But I have to say, hopefully Creative Pro Wrestling will bring back Space Monkey in the future, as well as Kobe Durst. Dang it, what else can be said about this very show? But yeah, looks like a very good event. Creative Pro Wrestling, and also packed the house. Unfortunately, due to circumstances beyond my control, I was not able to film the recap when I went to eat with Sam, Jessica, and everybody else, because it was due to the fact that the place we went to eat at was so busy. And maybe in the future for our videos, we'll definitely, after we put our order in, the waiter or waitress puts in our order, we'll start recording until our food comes, and then after we get done eating, pick up from where we left off. So I will say, Creative Pro Wrestling, great way to kick off 2020. Definitely can't wait for your next show. Again, I wish you would do Sunday shows beginning at 2, 3 o'clock rather than 5 p.m. but I know you're making the decisions in the end. But I will say, Cap, 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 Cap.